ledger, turn four as a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Engines scream, asphalt burns, the grip's a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn four as a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.
Woo! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening for the Full Throttle Outlaws All-Star Race live from South Boston Speedway for what is going to be a very, very exciting show as we get ready here for heat race number 1. Drivers will load into the sim. Each and every one of them will look for the win. I do believe everybody in attendance here tonight will punch their ticket into the A main feature event, so there will be no consolation races, nothing like that. We'll be going right in to the show after this heat race. So these drivers will get an opportunity to try to pick up a couple spots, maybe move forward, try to hang on, maybe not slide backwards, and try to set themselves up for a good starting position for our feature event. As starting on the pole in this 97 ride, that is Colton Hardy. Hardy will start in that pole position to his outside. In the Meow, the Kittens ride, this is the very shocked cats machine of Mr. Matt Hayden. Hayden will start there in position number 2. And for what I've got to be, it's got to be the cutest paint scheme out there, man. That's the cutest paint scheme out there on the racetrack. That is for certain, as the J.C. Newman Cigar Company number 54. David Traylor Jr. will start there in third to his outside. In the Budweiser Menards 92, it is Clinton Woodby. Starting in position number 5 in the number 6 ride, the Half Rust Bucket Machine. That is the ride of Rusty Modesty. And then to his outside in that Miller Genuine Draft number 87, it's Joe Yates who will start there in 6. Starting in position number 7 in the Enchilada Alley number 4 ride, that is Jesse Calloway to his outside in the number 69. That is the Wonder Bread, the Ricky Bobby paint scheme machine. That is Mr. Jesse Wise back there in 8th. Starting in position number 9, beautiful looking Monte Carlo out there on the Speedway is the Americana Automotive ride. There's a little bit of a Gooner machine there with the E-Girl on the side of it, but the 46 of Skylar Berry will start in 9th, and then we see that beautiful DuPont, the Automotive Finishes ride, the Valvoline machine, the Rainbow Warrior out there on the racetrack here tonight. That is the beautiful looking ride. Is the front end says a Chevy Monte Carlo. That is not a Chevy Monte Carlo. That is definitely a Camaro or a Firebird. But nonetheless, the 93 ride of Michael Yanks will bring up the rear of the field here in this heat race. It's down and out at corner number 4, right on our pace car's back bumper. These guys are excited to get things underway as here we go. Green flag is in the air as heat race number 1 gets underway. As the rookie driver on the pole position, it is Colton Hardy looking to try to pick up the heat race win. Now, there's nothing really on the line here for this heat race other than a very good starting spot in our feature event. And with South Boston being such a small short track, with this being such a tiny little speedway, they're going to click these laps off in a quick hurry. So tonight's racing action minus caution flags could go very, very quick as Colton Hardy has that race lead. He's looking good out in front. He's trying to keep these guys back there at bay as you do see David Traylor jump up into second. Matt Hayden back there into third now as Clinton Woodby rolls in 4th. Rusty Modesty back in 5th with Jesse Calloway now into the 6th position. Jesse Wines and Skylar Berry all gaining some spots out there on the racetrack as you see a little bit of contact here on that left front for the 87 ride. Quite a bit of damage here on that Miller Genuine Draft. And now you see some issues for the 4 ride of Jesse Wise. Jesse's going to run into some issues. So Jesse runs into a problem here. Looks like he gets very, very loose out of corner number 2. Let's take a look at it right there. Gets loose, washes up the racetrack, and then he's just going to stank slap the outside fence. Look at the 69 of Wise, the 46 right of Barry. He's got to try to take invasive maneuvers there to try and avoid running into that number 4 machine. And now we do see the caution flag being displayed. So the caution flag will come out as our 3rd place driver, Matt Hayden. Looks like Hayden going to run into some issues here as that beautiful Fox, the cat ride out there, the Meow machine down and out at core number 4 here. Just going to get on the throttle, gets onto her a little too quick. Gets that car loose, it just knocks that thing around and all of a sudden finds himself nosed into that inside fence. Heavy damage here. And unfortunately for the kitty cat car out there on the speedway, it's seen some better days here. It's got some pretty heavy damage on it. The crew's gonna have to go to work trying to get this thing fixed up back out there on the racetrack to not only complete this heat race, but to also get this car prepared for our A main feature event, as we'll get all these drivers stacked up, racked up. They'll get ready to try to go back to green flag racing. We do see Hayden down pit road here, so he'll head down to his pit stall. The crew will go to work. They'll get this car slightly fixed up. Looks like they got the front bumper back onto it at least. Now they're going to throw some tires onto this 5 ride as well, so that could be a bit of advantage here potentially for this 5 machine. Slightly better tires, maybe it'll help him out, maybe it'll keep him a little farther forward and maybe a little bit more under control and in the battle here this evening as the 97 ride, the rookie oval driver machine. That is that beautiful looking 97 of Colton Hardy. Hardy has the race lead. He's feeling fine. He's feeling divine out there on the speedway, and he is ready to be set loose once again. He's just looking to try to keep himself out in front, knowing that if he can win this heat race, that can give you the pole position for our A main feature event. And being out in front, I think is going to have such big momentum to it. You gotta have that track position here. This speedway is fairly tough to pass. You need to see either a lot of rubber being laid down, or you need to see some drivers potentially just running out of tires or something to be able to start making big moves and big passes out there on the racetrack. So just being out in front, having the control of the restarts, being there at the front of the field could be potentially the best place to be out there on the speedway. As here we go, pace car again, gonna make the hard left-hand turn, back down pit side, and for the 97, gets a great launch, a good restart, quickly gets back onto that loud pedals. He's hoping that he can keep David Trailer and Clinton Woodby back there at bay. As you do see that 92 run, beautiful looking Monte Carlo out there on the speedway, looking to try to slowly but surely work his way up towards the front here, battling with all these Camaros, hoping that he can try to find his way up and into the top spot out there on the racetrack. As the J.C. Newman Cigar Company number 54 of David Trailer Jr. able to hang on to that second spot. You do see Woodby and Modesty back there in position number 3 and 4 on the racetrack. Both drivers still hoping to try to work their way a little closer to the front of the field, as you do see all these Monte Carlos starting to work their way up towards the front here. 3 of them now inside our top 5, but the top 2 Camaros continue to lead the way out there on the speedway. See that beautiful Pontiac back there, the Firebird ride. That is the 87 of Joe Yanks in that 6th position. Jesse Calloway, the 5 ride of Matt Hayden, still pretty solid contact and damage here for that 5 ride after bringing out our first caution flag of the day. For this 5 ride, this car is definitely beat up. It has seen some better days out there on the speedway. And no wonder those cats look so gosh heckin' jocked out there, because they're going for a wild ride out there on the speedway. Jesse Wise right there behind him, and Michael Yanks bringing up the rear of the field in that beautiful 93 ride as the Rainbow Warrior machine at the back of the pack here. But out in front, it is Colton Hardy. Hardy continues to lead the way, but he's got some pressure here to his back bumper as we see the caution flag come back out, as it looks like the 87 of Joe Yanks. Yanks going to run into some issues here on lap number 12. Let's take a look here. So Yanks trying to work his way around this 46 of Skylar Berry's pushing. He's trying to find a way underneath of him here. Looks like he may just get into the 46. Deep down to the inside here at quarter 1 and 2. He's got the inside to the 46. Ryan may have been able to complete that pass. Unfortunately, just gets a little too quick onto the throttle. Noses that car down into the inside wall right there. And again, getting some more pretty solid contact and damage to that front left end of this 86 ride. You may want to head down pit road, try to get that thing repaired, as we do see Matt Hayden now down pit road. He's trying to get his car fixed up. Looks like the crew's done a pretty good job repairing that car. Same with the 87 of Joe Yates. So both cars back into some pretty good shape out there on the speedway. Now they're going to throw on more tires. They're going to hope that they can use them to their advantage to try to drive up and towards the front of the field. It's Colton Hardy looking for another big restart as, man, heat race number 1. It's been a bit of fun one, man. It's been a fun one. There's been some craziness. There's been a couple caution flags. Most of the time, what we'll see here at a racetrack like South Boston Speedway are those single car spins, those single car incidences where drivers just get onto the throttle, maybe a little too quick getting back into the gas, or just trying to, send the car into the corner. A lot of times you try to back the corner up, the car behind you wants to drive it in there a little bit deeper. That's where we tend to see a lot of contact in a car spinning another driver out. Most of the time, that's what we'll see. We'll see like what we saw with the 5 ride of Matt Hayden, like we just saw with the 87 ride of Joe Yates, is just getting back into that throttle, and if you get onto it a little bit too quick, a little bit too much, this track is very, very slippery. The tires do not hold up very well, and you can set this car around in a instant out there on the speedways. Here we go. Back to green flag racing is the 97, looking for another big restart, and he gets a pretty solid jump. But man, look at that 54. David Traylor Jr. sticking right there with them. David on the outside looking to complete this pass, hoping to try to take the race lead away from Colton Hardy. Colton, though, going to stay right down to the inside. He's not going to give up an inch out there, trying to keep himself at the point, but it does look like lap 13 will go to the 54 ride of David Traylor Jr., and David may have just been blessed as the caution flag comes back out. Jesse Wise looks like he potentially runs into an issue here. Let's see if we can take a look back and see what happens. So Wise looks like he's going to go around. Maybe a little help here from that 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Hayden, fresher tires, and just kind of gets log jammed down on the bottom side. He gets underneath of that 69 ride, jacks that car up. No rear traction. Unfortunately, car goes around, pointing the wrong direction there and stopped on the racing surface. The caution flag will be displayed, and that means we'll get him ready for another restart. Now, that's a big, big yellow for that 54, David Traylor Jr., as he was able to use that outside lane to take the race lead away from Colton Hardy, and with Hardy sliding back now into position number 2, that gives control on these restarts to the 54 ride of David Traylor Jr. So if David can get some big, big launches, if he can keep that 97 ride kind of on his tippy toes down through that Geico restart zone, potentially he could try to open up a bit of a lead, a bit of an advantage down and into corner number 1. And that may be all he needs to try to open up a good enough lead to try to steal this heat race win away from the 97 ride. The 92 right there ready to pounce. That's Clinton Woodby. Hoping to work his way a little closer to the front of the field. Here is that Budweiser machine. Rolls there in that 3rd position. He wants to go maybe a little 3 wide here on the start. Maybe he wants to spice things up even more. Modesty back there in 4th. Wants none of that action. Is Skylar Berry there in 5th. Michael Yates, Joe Yates, Jesse Wise, Matt Hayden there in 9th. And the number 4 of Jesse Galloway brings up the rear of the field here in this one. After the 4 ride coming down pit road, getting some changes done, he'll go to the back of the pack, and we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. Now, none of these caution flag laps count. So none of these caution flag laps count here on the race, either here in the heat race or our feature event, so that could make things go a little bit longer, make things a little bit more interesting here as the night goes on and these drivers, get a lot more laps, a lot more opportunities. And obviously right now with this 30 lap stint, they get some good ideas of how this feature event is going to go, and how you either need to, 1, complete a pass, or 2, how you need to control yourself on restart, or potentially just try to keep yourself out of trouble out there on the speedway. So you see Woodby and Modesty back here duking it out for position number 3, door to door, and it looks like maybe the 92 will clear the 6 ride. He does, down and out of 4, so Woodby will stay in that 3rd position, as we do see some issues a little deeper in the field for the 93 ride, as Michael Yates runs into some issues down and out of corner number 4. Pretty heavy right front contact there for him, and now we do see the caution flag is going to be displayed. So the caution flag does come out here for the 93 ride, just a little bit delayed. Let's take a look here, as nice and easy, and then looks like he just gets on the throttle, gets loose, washes that car up and into the outside fence. Galloway's got really nowhere to go right there, gets a piece of him, helps him go around. Heavy contact there into that outside fence here at South Boston Speedway, and unfortunately some pretty tore up race cars there, as we'll get them all trying to get fixed up here. See if we can get this thing rolling. See if we can get some more good green flag laps under our belt as David Traylor continues to lead the way. Now we're just over halfway through this heat race, so there's still a lot of racing here just in the heat race alone. Our feature event is 100 laps, so these guys, they're gonna have to try to get things figured out here. They're gonna have to try to clean things up, see if we can get some good green flag laps under our belt, and see if this all-star race can produce a little bit more racing action than caution action, as right now, obviously a lot of yellow flags, a lot of back and forth for a lot of these drivers, and these restarts, they got to be slightly antagonizing. You got to go through the gears. You got to try to build up that speed, all that momentum, try to find yourself a way up to the front of the pack here. As you do see the 92 ride, he's going to poke his nose right into the middle again. Looks like Clinton Woodby. He wants the race. He wants the battle. I'm not sure if that Monte Carlo, though, has got it in him, as it does look like potentially single file restarts here. It looks like a lot of drivers starting to line up, nose to tail. We'll see if that will continue, or if we will see some of these drivers maybe go double file here again. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. So it does look like they are doubling up. Okay, so here we go. Back to door and back to battle here at South Boston Speedway. You can see our race leaders. You can see all these drivers trying to play this little bit of a cat and mouse game on where they're going to be, where they want to be for this restart, and how tight they're going to run each other. As the 54 watching that 97 up the track a little bit, that could be a lot slicker, a lot hairier, could create some pretty good chaos down the front straightaway. Looks like everyone doing a great job hanging on to their race cars, keeping them pointing the right direction. Unfortunately there for Mr. Colton Hardy, did not get the restart he was hoping for, and for Colton, he's just trying to hang on to position number 2 now. As here comes that 92 of Clinton Woodby. Woodby down low, trying to poke his nose down to the inside of that 97. Doesn't look like he'll quite get there. Modesty now trying to hold on to position number 4 as he's got the 46 down to his inside. Looks like Modesty just able to clear him back down and into corner number 3. As, oh baby, look at the hands there in that 6 ride. That thing was an animal down and out of corner number 4. Luckily enough, he was able to hang on to it, but now he's got the pressure to his back bumper. The 46 of Skylar Berry says, listen brother, I want to go, I need to go, get this thing moving again. He's loose, down and out of 4. And I think it's all about this 46 on his back bumper. Finally looks like he's going to watch him on the racetrack. That opens up the inside. They're going to be tight down into 3 and out of 4. Skylar Berry looking to take over position number 4 out there on the racetrack. And now this is a dangerous spot to be if you're that 6 ride, if you can't keep pace, if you start to slide back in that outside lane. Unfortunately, the drivers are lined up right behind him. You may not find a hole. You may get freight trained right to the back of the pack, as both of them loose down and out of 4 as they stay door to door for position number 4 out there on the racetrack. And now here comes Matt Hayden. Is Hayden looking to go 3 wide? That is a bull call right there. Trying to poke your nose down there, trying to make it 3 wide as there's contact. Look out. Modesty and Skylar Berry get tied together, and Berry hard contact up and into the outside fence. Now around goes the 4 ride of Callaway. There goes Jesse Wise. Caution flag is back out on the racetrack. Caution flag is back out as pandemonium here this evening. As you take a look, here comes that 46 of Skylar Berry. He's looking to clear this 6 ride. He had a shot at it, unfortunately just does not clear the 6. They get hooked together. Rusty does not get enough time to get onto the binders there, and it just kind of hooks this 46 hard contact up and into that outside fence. And then from this point on, it's on like Donkey Kong as everyone's just trying to squeeze their way through there. Joe Yanks, one of them, you see Jesse Wise, he's trying to get through there as well after making contact with the 6. Take a look here and see what happens. Potentially the 87 ride of Joe Yanks going around at the same time as you do see the 4 ride after that bit of contact. Just loses the rear end. He's going sideways. Wise is going to get a piece of him. There goes the 4 up the racetrack into the outside fence. You look at the 87 and the 69 ride. Both go around down and out of corner number 2, just trying to carry that speed and momentum. Unfortunately, they both go for a loop-de-loop. Now, luckily, not a ton of damage for either of those drivers, but for Jesse Callaway, man, this is a big hit here for this 4 ride. He sees an opening, sees an opportunity to gain a couple positions, and everyone's trying to jump on top of it. Everyone wants to move forward here, and unfortunately, doing so, he's going to end up getting a little contact right there. Getting back onto the throttle, just loses the rear end. Help from the 69, the help from the 4. Then here comes the 46 in there as well, as just cleans him out, man. Big hit there for him. Heavy contact, heavy damage for this Enchilada Alley number 4 machinist. He'll try to get that pointed back in the right direction. So does Jesse Wise and Joey Yakes, as they'll all get stacked up, racked up, ready to try to go back to green flag racing here, as each and every one of them hoping to try and find their way into a good finish here for this heat race. As the laps are counting down, we are getting towards the end of this heat race and getting closer and closer to our A main feature event, which will be 3 times plus longer than the rest of the action out there on the racetrack. So there's a lot of laps. Obviously, a lot of opportunities to still move forward. Maybe not here in this heat race, but throughout that feature event, if you can just keep yourself clean, keep yourself out of trouble, you can definitely make some big moves and try to navigate your way up towards the front of the field. Is David Trailer Jr. with the race lead down and out of corner number 4. He'll see 5 laps left to go. So 5 more laps here in this heat race for the 54 ride is Colton Hardy. They're in second. Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden back up into 4th. And Rusty Modesty there in 5th. But for David Trailer Jr., he's looking to try to win this heat race. Now with 4 laps left to go, he just does not want to see a caution flag out there on the speedway. You did see the 46 ride get repaired. Jesse Wise, he's got some damage still on that 69 ride, but for the 4 machine of Jesse Calloway, Calloway's got his car fixed right up, and he sees this fairly damaged up 87 ride, and Joe Yanks knows that that's 1 spot better here to start this feature event. He may try to make some late race moves to try to steal that 7th position away from Yanks. Here in this one is David Trailer out in front. Now we see a battle back here for position number 3. Matt Hayden looking to try to work his way around the 92. A Clinton Woodby not going to give it up easily, though. He's going to stay right there to the outside. He's not going to back down, as the only 1 lap left to go here in this heat race. As David Trailer Jr. out in front, he's got the race lead. He's looking to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay. As Colton Hardy there in second, Matt Hayden back in 3rd. Then we see Clinton Woodby hang on to it. Woodby up and into the fence. As Modesty will make the bump and run and work his way into that 4th position. Woodby will be back in 5th with Yakes, Michael Yanks, Joe Yanks, Jesse Calloway, Skylar Berry, and Jesse Wines bring up the rear of the field. But our heat race winner, David Trailer Jr., is going to get ready for this A main feature event here this evening as the sun has set. The lights are on, and for each and every one of these drivers, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Now, they're going to get a quick warm-up session here, so they're going to get 5 minutes here to kind of work on their race cars, make sure that their cars are absolutely perfect and ready to go. As Diane Calloway says, keep on, Jesse Calloway says, keep on, keep it on, baby. Yes, ma'am. You know it. Well, Jesse looked pretty good there. He was making some moves, trying to make some passes, trying to make some moves here, as Eric Hardy says, here just in time. Let's go, baby. Number 97. How are you, Eric? Eric coming in with that heart reaction on the broadcast. How are you, brother? How's your Friday? How was your work week? And hopefully you're excited for the weekend. Here is Play for Cheats. Also coming in with the thumbs up here on the broadcast, showing the love early in this show, as well as each and every one of these drivers will get ready to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here. Some going to be hopping out onto the speedway, looking to try to get some laps in, hoping that they can make sure that their cars are absolutely perfect and are ready to go out there on the speedways. You do see that Meow Machine, the Shocked Cat ride out in on the racetrack, laying down some laps here. Skylar Berry out there as well in his Americana Automotive ride, as Hayden laid down some good lap times here. He's trying to make sure that his car is absolutely perfect and ready to go here for this A main feature event. We're going to get a quick break in here. We'll be right back with our 100-lap feature event in just a couple more moments, so don't go anywhere, because you do not want to miss the crazy action here in this feature event.
The grips a gamble, tires squeal, hearts race. This leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel and check it. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Engines scream, asphalt burns, the grips a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn floor's a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop quick, cruise move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.
Woo! Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, getting ready for our A main feature event as these drivers ready to put on a show for all the fans in the stands as the Full Throttle Outlaws feature event here for the All-Star race is about to get underway, as starting on the pole in the number 54, that is David Traylor Jr. To his outside will be the 97 of Colton Hardy. Starting in position number 3 in the number 5 ride, that is Matt Hayden. To his outside in the 6, it's Rusty Modesty. The 92 of Clifton Woodby, the 93 of Michael Yanks. Then we see Jesse Calloway in the 4, the number 87 of Joe Yanks, Jesse Wines, and Skylar Berry bringing up the rear of the field as all 10 drivers get ready to duke it out here for 100 laps of racing action here from the beautiful South Boston Speedway. Is down and out of 4. We will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here this evening. As David Trailer sees that green flag fly, he's able to get the lucky jump, but now starting to feel that pressure already from Colton Hardy. Is Hardy looking to try to stay glued right to his back bumper here, hoping to keep the pressure on the back end of this 54 all evening long. Is Hardy there in second? We do see Hayden able to stay in fourth. Everybody right where they started here this evening, but now we do see some issues as the 93 ride goes around. That's a tough break there for Michael Yanks. Michael pointed the wrong direction, and there is the caution flag. So the caution flag will come out if you are down on that apron and you don't get rolling quick enough. The yellow flag will be displayed. So here on lap number 2, caution will come out. Let's see if we can take a look back at it as the 93 ride. See if he gets any help here. If he just loses it, this is probably going to be a common theme throughout the evening. Drivers just losing that rear end, losing the grip as they're getting onto the throttle. They're trying to roll these corners with a little bit too much speed, and all of a sudden, there you go. You just send it into the corner, no grip, no traction, and around you go. Luckily enough, no major damage or contact there for the 93 rider. Any of these other drivers as they'll be able to get lined back up, get ready to roll once again, and get ready to go back to battle here this evening. Now, the big question is going to be, I'm not sure if these drivers are going to have to make green flag pit stops here tonight or not. Now, that could be a big make or break issue here throughout this feature event. I do know that there is some money on the line for these drivers. So the winner, first place here in this race, will earn a $50 gift certificate / credit to the winning bid auction in card breaks. So the winning bid NASCAR auction and card breaks over there, and they also can get a $50 cash bonus here. So if you're the race winner, man, that is a $100 swing here this evening, putting $50 into your back pocket, plus getting that $50 gift certificate to the winning bid auction and card breaks. Now, I'm not going to say anything special here, but if you guys are, one of the guys that get that gift card, man, your boy would definitely love maybe a little, cool, football pack, or maybe a nice little NHL pack opening. Send me the video, maybe give me some hockey cards, see if I can get a little lucky. I'm a gambler. I'll take that gamble, man. I'm gonna have to jump in there and see if I get some really cool hockey cards. I need to get some autographed hockey cards or football cards, something, man. I don't really have very many autographed cards, and I would love to get some into my collection. That is for certain. As here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. So only 2 laps into this race. It'll be 3 laps down when we go back to green flag racing. So 3 laps in, 97 laps left to go as David Trailer gets another great launch, another good restart, trying to keep that 97 ride from his outside here, trying to keep that 97 of Colton Hardy back there at bay. But for all these drivers, you got lots of time. You got lots of time to either move forward, decide backwards, just trying to play some strategy out there on the speedway as well. Maybe try to figure out what your car needs, what you need here throughout this feature event. With some of these caution flags that will be flying out there on the speedway, you'll have an opportunity to try some different things, try some different lines, try to figure out another area on the racetrack that you may be comfortable. Obviously, that inside groove is the most valuable. It is the fastest way around the racetrack, and you see that right there as the 97 tries that outside lane for a couple laps, and he instantly falls back a couple positions as Matt Hayden and Rusty Modesty both get around him. And now here comes that Meow Machine, the shocked cat ride out there on the speedway as the Meow ride up and into position number 2, and he's hoping that he can hunt down David Trailer and battle for this race lead, as I'm sure for Matt Hayden, he would love to be in the top spot, right? Meow, he would love to jump up there, put himself into the winner's circle as that 5 ride rolls there in position number 2. But for David Trailer Jr., he looks absolutely hooked up here this evening, car is looking very, very strong out there on the racetrack. Is Steven Stokes. What's good, Steven? Steven coming in with that like on the stream as Eric Hardy says, one more day of work tomorrow, and then it's Miller time. Yes, Sirski, then it's Miller time. I feel you there, brother. I might have to crack into a few late tonight myself. I don't got nothing to do tomorrow except for a broadcast later in the afternoon. Sunday, we got a little early golf game on the line, so we'll be getting out to the golf course for potentially the last time here in the season up in Canada, and then you know, and then we get some racing Sunday. Couple races Sunday, actually, yeah, couple races Sunday, I do believe, as got some great action here ahead of us over the next few weeks, man. A lot of great racing, a few series unfortunately coming to a close, but with that being said, hopefully some new series being started and created, which could bring in a lot of new faces, a lot of new cars out there on the racetrack. As Landon's Golfing and Gaming channel says, do you need to have an iRacing account membership subscription to play NASCAR 25? No, you do not need to have an iRacing account or membership to play NASCAR 25. NASCAR 25 being a console game, it's just straight up, once you buy that game, that is your membership. That's your lifetime membership there for NASCAR 25. Just like it was with 24, 23, and all the other previous NASCAR games. You don't need to have that account membership like you do on iRacing. It's not the same as iRacing. It's getting a lot better for NASCAR 25 from what I've heard. I haven't really seen or played it, so can't really tell you, but I do know it's getting quite a bit better. It's getting a little bit more realistic. The track changes are getting better as well with the help from iRacing, but that's more or less just a physical thing. It's not gonna, I don't think it's ever going to get to the point of iRacing, because iRacing doesn't want to take, you know, drivers away from the simulator. The sim is so good, it's so on point, the adjustments, everything else, and the way that the cars handle, react, and everything else are always going to be top of the line compared to NASCAR 25, but definitely fun buy. I mean, I've thought about it, potentially jumping in there, buying it, doing a career mode or something for some videos here on the YouTube stream, but you know, maybe we'll do that in the future. I'm not sure if it's even available yet on Steam for PC, so I'd have to check that out. But we do see a caution flag fly. Let's take a look and see what happens. It looks like, again, Michael Yank's going to have some issues here. 93 ride is going to go around this time. May get some help here. 46 right there on his back bumper. Looks like he gets a little help going all the way around, but already kind of sideways there for that 93 right. Let's see if we can get another look, another angle at this one. He's going to send it down and in to corner number 3 here, and you see right there, he's already sideways. Car's already basically going around as that car is spinning sideways. If you're sideways, you're sliding, you get no forward traction, you get no bite out of the rear end. That's where all your power comes from, and you're virtually just at a standstill. You're virtually going nowhere. The car is just not moving, and you lose so much speed and momentum once that rear end kind of snaps loose and you start to slide out there on the speedway. And unfortunately, Skylar Berry just not quick enough on the back bumper there to get onto the binders and avoid that contact. But for all those drivers, not a ton of damage, not a ton of issues, so we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing as David Trailer gonna look for another big restart to try to keep Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty, Colton Hardy, and the rest of the field back there at bay. As here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing, and again, another good restart there for the 54 ride. You do see Matt Hayden quickly jumps down to the inside, quickly jumps right to the back bumper here of that J.C. Newman Cigar Company number 54 machine, as David Trailer Jr. trying to keep himself out in front. Wants to be that reflection of perfection here this evening after winning the, not quite the pole position, but he won that first heat race of the day, led just over half of that race, and now here in this feature event, starting in the pole for this feature event, he has led all 16 laps so far, but he's got a lot of laps left to go, a lot of opportunities to continue to try to pull away, try to open up a bit of a lead, but he's also got a lot of time to potentially fall backwards out there on the speedway and lose this top spot. So we'll have to wait and see how he's able to hang on to it as we'll take a look back here. You do see Jesse Wise trying to move forward. Same with Jesse Calloway in that 4 right as he's got that Pontiac. Right there behind him is the Firebird of Joey Yates trying to work his way a little closer to the front. As look out, Matt Hayden now to the outside. Hayden's going to get freight trained here, but for a couple positions as the 97 and the 6. So Modesty and Colton Hardy able to get around him, but he's trying to battle back here to the outside of that 97. They're door-to-door for position number 3 as Hayden doesn't want to give up another spot, but for the 97, he wants to take it away, but it's tight racing here at South Boston Speedway. One wrong move, one wrong corner, it can send you backwards in a quick curry, and you may not get the opportunity to try to advance anymore out there on the Speedway as we do see the caution flag fly. So Jesse Wines is going to run into issues here. Let's take a look at the Wonder Bread ride. That beautiful 69 machine down into corner number 3. This seems to be the problem area, and it looks like it's going to be more or less out of 4. This gets back onto that throttle. Unfortunately, loses that rear end, getting back onto the top, back onto the throttle right there. And unfortunately, just car gets light in the rear end, loses that rear end traction, and car's just going to step out and around on you. Not a whole lot he can do. Let's see if we can jump on board here to the helmet cam and see what he can see here as he's looking to try to keep on battling his way towards the front and runs into this issue on corner exit. So nice and easy down through 3, and right here, right there, just starts to get back onto the throttle. Maybe a little bit too much, a little bit too soon. Loses that rear end, goes for a loop-de-loop, and unfortunately, that is not a fun spot to be out there on the Speedway. So we'll get them all ready to rock and roll as we do see Mr. Skylar Berry in that Americana Automotive number 46 ride. Heads down pit road. So he'll head down pit side, try to get that car repaired, fixed up, and back out there onto the racetrack. Is obviously some strategy calls could play a big difference maker in this feature event. Now, I'm not sure how many tires, sets of tires these guys have back behind pit wall. Let's see if we can take a look at it. You know, there's a lot of money on the line here, a lot of bragging rights as well, winning this all-star race. So for a lot of these drivers, if they can jump up there and make some big moves, if they can put themselves into that position, that's exactly what they're going to try to do. Let's see if we can get a look at the race info. So it does say 1 tire change in the feature. So only 1 tire change throughout this feature event. Now you're really going to use it to your advantage. You got to wonder when you come down pit road, when you want to use those fresh tires to really give yourself that extra advantage out there on the speedways. Here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Alrighty, is the 54 of David Traylor Jr. Once again, down through 3 and out of 4. We'll see that green flag flying. Gets a solid jump, but he does leave that 6 ride. A Rusty Modesty right there to his outside. Modesty with a good jump. He's trying to hang with them, trying to put the pressure on the outside of the 54 ride, the outside lane. We've seen it work. We've seen it kind of hang with them, but not a whole lot of passes up there. And now you do see him slide backwards. That will now open up the door here for that number 5 of Matt Hayden to try to work his way back up into second as Colton Hardy trying to hold on to 4th here, but he's got that 92 of Clinton Woodby right down to his inside. His lookout, Hayden loose down underneath of that 6th ride. Luckily enough, able to catch it, able to keep that car pointed in the right direction. Now this is exactly what David Traylor wants to see. He wants to see these guys continue to duke it out back there behind him, continue to battle door to door and fight like hell for second, where it can give him a bit of an edge, a bit of an advantage, and open up a half a second lead, almost 0.6 of a second now between himself and this 6th ride of Rusty Modesty. So at least takes a little bit of pressure off his back bumper. We'll see if Modesty can close that gap, reel that 54 ride in as we see Matt Hayden back there in that 3rd position. We do see Jesse Calloway potentially running into an issue. No caution flag as of yet. Unfortunately, heavy damage, and there is the yellow. There is the caution flag here for the 4 ride. Heavy damage for Jesse Calloway, man. Just trying to get this thing pointed back in the right direction, hoping to try to get it down pit road as Joe Yates also running into an issue. But let's take a look here, see what happens as the enchilada Ali Ryan just gets loose down in through 3 and 4. Then he's going to get a little love nudge here from the 50s, or from the 87. And man, there's a bunch of cars that all of a sudden get piled into this one. So it all starts with this 4 right here. Down and through corner number 3 and 4. This seems to be the hot spot here this evening. It's 3 and 4. Just you see him get sideways. He's loose, sliding sideways. No forward momentum. The 87 trying to get down underneath of him. Unfortunately, can't get onto the binders quick enough. Runs into the left rear quarter panel there of the 4 line back into the front end. They get some pretty good damage for the 2 of them, and it just washes his 4 car back up the racetrack. Nowhere to go for the 93 ride right there as Michael Yakes slams into him. Some pretty good contact there as well for the 46 ride of Skylar Berry. Heavy damage for both of those cats. And now for the 4 ride, he does get rolling. He does get this car back into the action, but for Michael Yakes here, Michael, that heavy left front damage. He bounces it off the wall. Just no steering in this race car. Has to come to a stop down on the back straightaway. And as he does, just trying to get this car down pit road. Unfortunately, that's what will put us under the yellow flag here. Now Callaway just trying to work this thing down pit road, trying to get it somewhere down pit side. Unfortunately, this car just will not turn. The whole right-hand side is completely tore apart here. You see the sparks and everything else flying out of this car. And unfortunately, it's going to be very hard. You see him turning as hard left as he can. You just got to try to time it here. Hope to get checked up enough there, or bounce it off the fence again, that he can kind of get it down pit road. And that's kind of what it looks like he may have to try to do, is he's going to miss pit lane a couple times and trying to get this thing down pit road. Looks like he finally does get it down pit side, able to use his quick repair, get that car fixed up. He's back out there onto the racetrack, ready to keep on battling. As here we go, back to green flag racing, and for our race leader, looks like he mixes a shift. For the 54, David Traylor Jr. has been perfect all night long. Has hit those restarts, has kept these drivers back there at bay, but now loses the race lead with a missed shift on that restart, and it allows Rusty Modesty to jump out in front. So Modesty now with the race lead. He'll look to try to keep these guys back there at bay and try to put one of the metric cars up and into victory lane here this evening. As you do see that 54 trailer trying to work his way back to his rear bumper. Clinton Woodby rolls there in third. Matt Hayden back and forth with Colton Hardy rounding out our top 5. The 87 to Joe Yakes there in 6 with Skylar Berry, Jesse Wise, and Jesse Callaway bringing up our top 9 out there on the Speedway. Unfortunately for that 93 machine, the beautiful Rainbow Warrior ride out there on the racetrack, that DuPont Automotive Finishes ride, parked down pit road, extended pit stop here for him, trying to get this damage repaired. Unfortunately, there's a lot of damage to get fixed up on that race car, and unfortunately, he's already about 5 laps down out there on the racetrack. So that is a tough spot to be if you're Michael Yakes, and that may potentially bring an end to his night here this evening, as David Traylor does find his way back out in front. Modesty slides back into second, but now may fall even farther back. As here comes that 92. Clinton Woodby trying to work his way up towards the front. He gets very loose underneath that 6 ride. Somehow or another catches it, able to hang on to it, but he does lose that inside groove through the 6 machine to Modesty. Modesty will now try to keep him back there at bay. Some great racing here up inside the top 5. Look at Hayden just kicking this car loose, trying to find his way up towards the front, trying to keep himself out of trouble at the same time, as now he'll push and wash up the racetrack. This will slide him back into about the 6th position. So let's jump on board here with this 5 ride, really get a good look at what these guys are dealing with, what they're doing out there on the Speedway to try to find the speed, try to find that extra gear. As you see the 92, he's sideways out there on the racetrack. Look at Hayden. Oh man, has to crank that wheel all the way to the right to try to save it and keep it just rolling, pointed in the right direction. As you do see Colton Hardy, looks like he's able to use the outside lane, gets around that 92 ride, and then you do see Hayden again pushes up the racetrack here, obviously starting to struggle with the handling of this race car, and obviously maybe a couple times into that outside fence, maybe a few too many times sliding this race car around, and for that 5 ride, he's going the wrong direction. As David Traylor, though, David continues to lead this feature event. The 6 of Modesty right there behind him. Colton Hardy back up into that 3rd position as everybody trying to hunt down this 54 ride here this evening, and he's got about 9/10 of a second, almost a full second lead now between himself and that 6 ride of Rusty Modesty. So it seems like this 54 man is just on rails here this evening. He's absolutely hooked up in just doing a phenomenal job out there on the racetrack. And for David Trailer Jr., he's been out front. He's led a ton of laps other than missing that shift on the restart and not leading, 3 or 4 laps there. That Rusty Modesty was able to be out in front. It's been all this 54 ride, and he's hoping to keep it that way. It's nice and easy down and out in corner number 4. He'll click off another lap. That is 39 laps completed. So next time by, 40 laps in, 40% of this race going to be completed. And that means nice and easy down through 3. In out of corner number 4, back down across the start finish line. That will click off lap number 40 here this evening. 40 laps in, 60 laps left to go here from South Boston Speedway as David Trailer Jr. trying to keep himself at the point, trying to keep that car out in front as Rusty Modesty, Colton Hardy, Joe Yanks, and Clinton Woodby round out our top 5. Look at these brake rotors, man. These things are working hard out there on the racetrack. These drivers are heavy onto the brakes, trying to get these cars checked up, trying to get them woed up here, and hoping that they can make these corners as the 46 of Skylar Berry rolls there in position number 6. Not as much brake heat there in that 46 ride. Potentially that could be a big difference maker on tire wear throughout this race. The 46 not showing a ton of, glowing brake lights there for the 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Hayden using a little bit more of the brakes here. You can definitely see a lot more glowing brake rotor there out of that 5 ride. Now the 46 man to use a little bit more of it. That 4 machine, he's got a little bit of a hot brake set as well. You see the 46 starting to get there, starting to heat them up as now there's contact. Look out. Oh, baby. Callaway, great save right there after contact into the side of Skylar Berry. Both drivers doing a fantastic job, able to hang on to those race cars, and for the 4 ride not to get major contact into that inside fence and keep that car alive here this evening, man. That was a big break for him as we do see Jesse Wise go around. Jesse pointed the wrong direction, backs it up onto the racetrack, stopped there on the speedway. Here comes our race leaders, and for Jesse Wise going around, that will bring the caution flag back out here this evening. So the caution flag will be displayed again as Wise down through corner 3 and 4, already with a little bit of right front damage here for the 69 ride. He's just going to send it in there, loses the rear end. Car goes around, noses it a little bit into that inside wall, giving a little bit more damage there, and then obviously backing it up, and it goes back onto the racing surface and stop there on the racetrack. That will bring the caution flag out 99% of the time. So another caution flag, and now this really brings up the possibility here. We see a lot of these drivers head down pit road, including David Trailer Jr. We see Colton Hardy down pit road, unfortunately for Colton there. And for the 5 ride of Matt Hayden, both drivers missed their pit stall, had to back it up. That's going to cost them a little time down pit road. Rusty Modesty going to get a great drive off of pit lane, and he should stay in front of them, as you do see Hardy still down there. Clinton would be down pit side. Michael Yakes, unfortunately, still down pit road. For Skylar Berry and for the number 69 and Jesse Wise, they both come down pit side as well. I do believe we're going to see pretty much everybody except for Joe Yanks. Yanks looks to be the only driver to stay out here. Yanks stays out. I do believe Jesse Callaway also stays out there. So Jesse Callaway did not actually come down pit road during that caution flag. He was down pit side on lap number 26. Now I don't know if he took tires or not, but for these drivers, they only get 1 set of tires. They only get 1 tire change. Now we do see Modesty having to make an additional trip down pit side in that number 6 machine. So unfortunately for Rusty, that's going to lose him a lot of track position out there on the racetrack. And for Joe Yanks, that'll put him out in front. So for the Miller Genuine Draft Machine, he gets ready to go to battle. He gets ready for a big restart, trying to keep these guys back there at bay. Same with Jesse Callaway. He's going to have a lot of pressure here to his back bumper. Going to keep a lot of these fast cats back there behind him here this evening. And for David Trailer, how's he going to be able to handle it? How's he going to be able to work his way back around this 87? He's going to make quick work, as Jesse Callaway did not get the best restart right there. And unfortunately for Callaway, does slide all the way back into that 3rd position. He'll be able to get down to the inside here, keep that number 97 of Colton Hardy back at bay. But for Joe Yanks, he's out in front. He's the only driver yet to come down pit road here in this feature event. And for the 87, he just wants to see a pretty good green flag flag run right here. If you can see 10, 15, maybe 20 laps of a green flag run where these drivers back behind them put a little bit more wear onto their tires and make their cars that much more ill handling, potentially could put them into a good position. So you do see Matt Hayden ran into a problem. Pretty heavy contact again here for that Meow ride. Let's take a look at it. No caution flag here for the 5 ride. We keep it clean and green as he sends it into the corner. Looks like he's just going to try to get back onto the throttle a little too soon. Car snaps around, ends up into the infield safer barriers there. Ends up with some pretty good contact and damage, not only onto the front end, but the back end. Now, he's able to get that car rolling, able to keep it going here. No yellow flag. We keep it clean and green. As David Trailer, though, Trailer continues to lead this race. The 54 ride out in front, as he's able to take the race lead back away from Joe Yanks. Yanks will now try to hold on to second. If you can just kind of stay up here inside the top 3, top 4, top 5 here for a good amount of laps here, even if you can do 20 or 30 laps and then catch a caution flag, where he could come down pit road, get the repairs that he's looking for, and throw on a fresh set of tires to give him the best tires late in this race, then that would work out perfectly for him. But if he starts to run low on fuel, if he has to come down pit road and make a green flag pit stop with no caution flag out there on the racetrack, it could potentially end his night. If you've got to come down pit road, you got to make that green flag pit stop. More than likely, you're going a lap, maybe even 2 or 3 laps down out there at South Boston Speedway. So you got to be very, very cautious of that. As you do see a couple drivers sliding sideways somehow or another. Rusty Modesty able to save that ride. My gosh, let's play this back. Let's back it up here, Terry. Let's take another look at it as you see the 92 and the 6 ride both gets loose here down into corner number 3, and look at the 6 machine. Man, oh man, oh man, it's like we're back on the dirt track. You gotta turn right to go left, and somehow or another, he's able to catch it, keep that thing pointing in the right direction. You see the 97 ride of Colton Hardy right there. Hardy's able to try to get around him, but now, here we go. Modesty's gonna battle back to the outside of that 97 ride, and for Modesty, he's looking to try to take over this 4th position once again for Hardy, trying to keep himself in position number 4. It's everybody again hunting down this number 54 of David Trailer. As Trailer out in front continues to lead the way here as 57 laps now completed. So they're working through this feature event a whole lot quicker than what they did for the heat race. Heat race definitely had a lot more caution flags. Now we're a little bit more cordial, a little bit more under control, as we do see Jesse Calloway making his way down pit road. So for the Enchilada Alley ride, he comes down pit side here. This is going to be a big mistake here for that number 4 right now. I don't see him coming down into his pit stall, so I'm not sure if he just gets loose, and that's exactly what happens. He's going to get loose, the car's going to go around, and as it does, it just ends up nosing him down pit road right there, and unfortunately for that 4 ride, that will at least lose him a lap. And now we do see the caution flag gets displayed. Now I'm not sure if that's going to be for this number 4 car, or if we're going to see some more issues potentially with Matt Hayden. Take a look back here, see if we see anybody turned around. David Trailer's there. Aiden, he's right in front of him. Rusty Modesty, there we go. There's our caution flag. So Modesty battling with that 97 ride for quite a while. Looks like he's finally going to lose that spot. He slides back in behind this 97 ride after tagging the outside fence. Pretty good right there. So some pretty solid right front damage. And then, oh, there's some issues here in front of him. And I think he sees that, gets onto the binder, trying to avoid the 97 ride, not the 97, the 87 ride of Joe Yanks. See if we get another angle at this one, get another look at it here as Yanks going to send it into corner number 1 and 2. This is the first time we've seen some action over here, and it looks like he gets some help. So the 92 ride, Clinton Woodby going to give him a shot in the shorts right here. And as he does, he just knocks that rear end loose. Round goes the 87, the 97 of Colton Hardy gets some pretty solid contact into that, and that's where you see Modesty come into the picture here. He sees this breaking loose. He sees all these guys kind of running into this issue, and now he's got to make a big heads-up play, and luckily enough, able to get this car turned around and down the racetrack. before potential big contact here. Oh yeah, he was very, very close to getting some pretty solid damage there, running into the side of that 93 ride. Good piece of driving, able to get that thing pointed back in the right direction, able to keep on rolling as we will get them all ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to green flag racing as David Traylor Jr. out in front has this race lead. Clinton Woodby in second, Jesse Wise now into third, with Rusty Modesty, Matt Hayden back there in fifth. Colton Hardy will be in sixth, with Joey Yates back in seventh. And then we will see Skylar Berry and Jesse Calloway bringing up the rear of the field as Michael Yates still down pit road. Looks like his night definitely coming to an end here as we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to go back to green flag racing here at the beautiful South Boston Speedway. 60 laps in, 40 laps left to go here this evening as we'll jump in to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, crank it up, caution flag is going to fly. The crank it up caution flag will be displayed here as the number 92 rider, Clinton Woodby, is going to go for a loop-de-loop here. Let's see if he had a little help as he's trying to hunt down our race leader. Looks like he's going to get really loose right there. We've seen this 92 super loose all night long, and it looks like right here, just going to lose that rear end. Finally, car goes around. It's a little bit of contact there into the barrels down on the back straightaway pit entry. Unfortunately, as he goes around, comes to a stop there still on the racing surface. Caution flag will be displayed. So a quick yellow flag, and we'll get these drivers ready to rumble here once again. Drivers ready to try to go back to battle out there on the speedway. Now, there is a couple different pit cycles here on these tires, on the fuel. Now we get to really see kind of who's made some big strategy calls, who's been kind of holding back and waiting for the right time to strike and potentially getting those fresh tires. You do see the 92 did come down pit road here. He's trying to get this car fixed up and worked on as he'll make his way around this long straightaway here, all the way down into his pit stall. See if the crew's just going to get some damage repaired or if he's going to be able to get some tires. Let's see. Nope, looks like damage repaired there for the 92. Gets a splash of gas, and he is back underway. So he'll get lined back up here with the rest of the field and ready to rumble out there on the speedway once again as, again, another big restart here for David Traylor Jr. As David will get ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here once again as we go back to duking it out. We'll jump right on board here. Let's jump on board with Jesse Calloway for this restart as we'll go back to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cheer on your favorite driver and make sure you crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. hit on the racetrack. Caution flag is back out into the air. Huge hit right there for the number 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Clinton Woodby getting tore up there as well. A big hit down and out of corner number 2. This one may even display a red flag, as that was a massive hit here. Let's take a look back and see what happens, as that will bring a close to our Peacemaker Gaming cranking up here this evening. Now, watch a couple of these cars, as these guys are just going to get tangled together, and unfortunately, looks like potentially the 5 ride going to get a little help here, a little love nudge from the 6 ride of Modesty. Modesty's going to get into his back end. It's just going to knock this rear end loose for that number 5 ride. He's trying to catch it, trying to get this thing pointed back in the right direction as the 6 gets into the 5. The 87 to the back end of the 6 machine. They make contact. Around goes Rusty Modesty, and it straightens out the 5 a little bit until, bam, right there, head on into the pit entry, and that is a big hit for him. And then all of a sudden, here comes Clinton Woodby. Woodby nowhere to go. Jesse Wise nowhere to go. Slides into the side of that 5 ride. Heavy damage for about 3 drivers out there on the racetrack. Honestly, Rusty Modesty, the driver that kind of started this whole shebang, ends up with the least amount of carnage out there on the speedways. There were some big hits here in this one, man. A lot of big hits. As watch this again. There's the contact. There they go around. Here comes the 5 ride. Bam! Right into that infield barrier, and then here comes the 92. Nowhere to go, tries to avoid him, unfortunately slams right into that back end, and then right into the outside fence. Jesse White sends it in there, slams into that passenger side door of that 5 ride. There's some big hits here. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Matt Hayden, see what he can see here, as he's just trying to keep this thing pointing in the right direction, trying to keep this car rolling. He's in second, trying to hunt down our race leader, and all of a sudden, here comes that hit, loses the rear end, trying to save it, bounced around, and all of a sudden, before he knows it, that's a big hit, and then gets slammed again and again out there on the racetrack. Let's take a look from Clinton Woodby's perspective, as he's going to get ready to roll around here. Let's see what he can see, as he's going to come down through corner number 1 and 2. Now, he's kind of get that A pillar in his way, kind of can't see it, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's the 5 ride. Right in front of him, no time to react. That was a big hit, as the green flag back out into the air. We're back to green flag racing. Matt Hayden still parked down pit side. So isn't Clinton Woodby. Their nights may be done here this evening, or at least their chances of potentially winning this race probably out the window right now, as we're down to 7 drivers. And right now it's David Traylor Jr. David out in front, leading the way. Joe Yakes in second. Jesse Calloway now into third here, as you see Colton Hardy and Rusty Modesty duking it out here, as there goes the 97. He'll go through a loop-de-loop. There's the yellow flag back out into the air. So the caution flag does fly here once again, as the rookie oval driver, just trying to get out of the way ride, is the 97, as Hardy's going to go around. Let's take a look here at it. We also saw some issues for the 46 ride here as well. So it looks like potential issues here for the 46. It's right here. Oh, some contact down into the infield wall. Big hit there for Skylar Berry, as the Americana Automotive ride does go for that loop-de-loop there as well. Heavy contact into the infield wall for him, and at the same time we saw that issue for Colton Hardy, as Hardy trying to keep himself, I do believe at this point, in position number 4. Modesty's trying to take it away. They're just going to end up making some contact. No, not a lot of contact on corner entry. Maybe just the 97 ride, maybe losing that outside groove, maybe just misjudging his entry point or how much speed to carry, and unfortunately, right here, sends it into the corner, just no rear traction, car goes around, washes down the racetrack in towards the infield here. Luckily not able to get stopped, doesn't get a ton of damage onto that car until he drives it another 10 feet forward there into the concrete barrier. Ends up with some pretty solid damage there on that race car. So he's down pit road trying to get that repaired, trying to get that car fixed up and back out onto the racetrack, as I do believe it is going to be David Traylor still out in front, still has control of this race, and the 54 car, the South in Your Mouth, number 54, the J.C. Newman Cigar Company ride. Out in front here, trying to keep all these guys back there at bay, as the America's oldest cigar, family-owned cigar company Ryan looking to try to find victory lane here at South Boston Speedway to his outside that Miller Genuine Draft Machine, and Joe Yakes in position number 2. Jesse Calloway in the Enchilada Alley ride rolls there in position number 3. And we see Rusty Modesty back there in 4th. The 69, the Wonder Bread Machine of Jesse Wise, Skylar Berry there in 6th and 7th. And look at Colton Hardy. Hardy's making some big moves here on the restart. He's going to get a black flag for that one. Oh, man, that's a big call right there. So he comes with a big head of steam here after coming down pit road trying to get this car repaired. He's going to take all the speed momentum. Look at the field. They're stacked up. They're just getting the green flag. He gets a big run, drives right down to the inside, basically passes at least one car, but he is going to get a black flag for that one. I'm not sure if the admin crew is going to wave that or not, so we'll have to wait and see, as that was a bold call, bold strategy there for the old 97 yellow mustard machine, but it does look like that black flag will be lifted. He'll be able to keep on battling as David Traylor Jr. out in front, continue to lead this race, only with 24 laps left to go down across the line. So 24 more laps left here in this feature event. We started with 10 drivers. We are down to 7 here this evening in this all-star race. So this feature event has been pretty wild. It's been pretty crazy. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of drivers running into issues. And for the 54 rider, David Traylor Jr., he'll look to continue to keep himself out in front of the field and try to keep all these drivers back there at bay. As right now, David Traylor Jr. has this race lead. Joe Yakes there in second, trying to put some pressure onto the back bumper of that 54 right now. Joe Yakes was down pit road about 14 laps after David Traylor Jr. So I'm assuming he's got about 14 lap better tires than our race leader. Will that be a difference maker? Will the fresher tires pay dividends to potentially winning this race? Will David Traylor start to run into more issues, start slipping his line around a little bit more? Will the 87 just continue to have some good speed momentum and have this car kind of a little bit more glued to the racing surface here late in the race, then it could open up the door for him to maybe steal this win away from David Traylor Jr. Rusty Modesty right there as well in that 3rd position, as Calloway back in position number 4 and looking for more. Skylar Berry there in 5th. Colton Hardy back in 6th with Jesse Wise in position number 7. Now for Wise, I'm sure he's not going to be very happy with that restart. The 97 ride cutting down to his inside with all that speed momentum. They made a little bit of contact there, and it shoved the 69 ride back into position number 7 there, down into corner number 1. So we'll have to wait and see if there's any payback there between the 69 and the 97. As now you see Colton Hardy, he's trying to find his way around Skylar Berry, and there we go, some contact. 97 ride sideways. I think that may have been a little bit of, hey man, I did not appreciate that run. I did not appreciate that drive. And he takes a shot here at that 97 of Colton Hardy. Let's see if we get another look at it. So 69 right, going to get a big run. As Colton's trying to work his way around the 46. Here we go. Just drives it deep down low underneath him. Makes that contact. Not going to think twice about it. Luckily enough for Colton Hardy, he's able to keep on rolling. Keeps that car pointing the right direction. And we'll have to wait and see if Colton can catch back up to the 69 ride and maybe voice his displeasure out there on the racetrack. As the 54 David Traylor continues to lead this race. 0.3 of a second. Only really a car length or two between himself and Joe Yakes. So still not a whole lot of breathing room, but at least a little bit more than being right on your back bumper out there on the racetrack. Rusty Modesty has fallen back even farther here in that 3rd position. Jesse Calloway there in position number 4 with Skylar Berry, Jesse Wines, and Colton Hardy rounding out our top 7. Left out there on the racetrack is Matt Hayden, Cole Clinton, Woodby, and Michael Yakes parked down pit side. Is the 54 hoping to try to find victory lane as 87 laps into this race. Only 13 laps left to go for the 87 ride of Joe Yakes. Can he make something happen here in the final 13 laps? Now 12 laps out there on the racetrack. So can he get it done? Can he find a lane? Can he find a groove to jump up here and try to steal the win away from what has been probably the most dominant car here this evening, David Traylor Jr. As David just continues to click these laps off. He knows that they're going to continue to click these laps off quicker and quicker and quicker, especially now with less cars out there on the racetrack. Things are a little bit more wide open. Things are a little bit more cool, calm, and collected. So they are going to try to get some big things rolling out there on the speedways. We do see Jesse Wise Jesse goes around here. Oh, man, let's see if there was some help here for Jesse or if he just loses the rear end. Looks like he gets into the back end of the 46, starts to lose that rear end. Luckily enough, able to catch it. The 97 ride of Colton Hardy able to get out of the way there as well. And now we do see Jesse Calloway going to run into issues as well. No caution flag here. And for Jesse Calloway, he's going to go around as well. So Calloway just sends it deep down into the corner here. Looks like he's going to lose it down through 3 and 4. And yeah, right there, just gets loose, tries to save it. Car finally goes around, and for the Enchilada Alley ride, no yellow flag. He will roll back into 7th. He'll try to get that thing steamrolling again and rolling back up towards the front of the field, but he's trying to keep himself on the lead lap. He just wants to make sure that if he can keep himself on the lead lap, not go a lap down here, potentially could keep himself in the battle. But here comes our race leader, and now for David Traylor Jr. late in this race, it seems like he has almost found another gear. He's starting to disappear here as he's opened up about a 1.4 second gap between himself and Joe Yanks. So Yanks continue to fall farther and farther behind our race leader. Now has a lap car in between them, and you see Modesty a little farther back there in 3rd. Skylar Berry now into 4th. Colton Hardy there in 5th, but there's more contact. Oh, man, there's more to this story. These two have been going at it here. And I think after the 97 ride got back in front of Jesse Wise, I'm not sure if Wise just wanted to show more displeasure with how the 97 ran him, or if maybe we start to see some big blocks out of this 97 ride. So let's take a look back at it here. So the 97 getting really, really loose right there. The 69 down to his inside. And yeah, looks like the 69 and the 97, they're just going to leave each other no room, no brakes here. They're not going to lift for each other as they're both feeling pretty hot under the collar right now, and they're just going to make some contact. So obviously Colton's car ill handling here, trying to keep this thing rolling. Here comes this 69. Ryan shoots down to the inside. Gets to the inside here. He's at the door. He's trying to make the move, and does he come up into the 97? Looks like maybe he does here. So Wise, maybe not making the wisest calls right there. One of the race admins and league owners here, and I don't know, they both one kind of comes up, one kind of comes down. Nonetheless, they run out of room. Both drivers get sideways. Wise bounces off the inside fence. The 97 rides there, where Wise is going to help push him around here. And now you're going to see the 69 and the 97 both wash up. Hard contact up into the outside fence. So pretty solid contact and carnage there for the pair of them. And that will put us back under the yellow flag here late in this race. And now we still got some laps left to go. And both drivers still rolling out there on the racetrack, even with fairly damaged race cars. But for David Traylor Jr., David, with over a 1.5 second lead, did not want to see that caution flag with only, 6 laps left to go in this race. He did not want to see the yellow flag there in this one, as that's going to bring all these drivers right back to his rear bumper. As Mandy says, let's go Skylar, keep pushing that 46 ride. Trying to push that 46 potentially up here into a solid top 3, top 4 run here this evening, as here we go. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Looks like we will go single file restarts here. So down and out of 4, getting the green flag with 5 laps left to go is David Traylor Jr. 5 laps left to duke it out as Traylor gets a great launch and a great restart there. Quickly open up a gap between himself and Joe Yanks. Now Yanks has to be careful here, as here comes that number 6 ride of Modesty down to his inside. Skylar Berry, unfortunately not the best restart for the 46 machine. He slides back as here we go. There's some beating and banging. Hang on to it. Colton Hardy trying to keep that thing pointing the right direction. Him with the 4 ride of Calloway now bouncing off each other, as the 97 still trying to keep this thing pointing the right direction. Goes around, hard contact into the inside fence. He'll tow that car right off the speedway and down pit lane. So it looks like his night is going to be done, as David Traylor says, thank you very much for that one. No caution flag is down across the line. He gets 2 more laps left to go. 2 more laps left to duke it out here this evening for David Traylor, as David, nice and easy, down through 3 and out of corner number 4. This time he will see that white flag fly. So the next flag will end this race no matter what, as the battle is still on for that 2nd position, as down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening. It is David Traylor out in front, nice and easy, down through 3 and out of 4. It's David Trailer Jr., who will pick up the checkered flag here this evening. Rusty Modesty will steal second place away from Joe Yakes. Yakes will come home in third. Skylar Berry back in fourth with Jesse Calloway rounding out our top five. Jesse Wise in sixth as Colton Hardy, Matt Hayden, Clinton Woodby, and Michael Yakes will round out our top 10 here this evening. But it's all the 54 of David Trailer Jr. as he gets to celebrate the All-Star win here this evening from South Boston Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for the J.C. Newman Cigar Company. Number 54 as David Trailer gets the job done here this evening. Now we'll get ready to pull, as Ross Chastain says, Eric Hardy says Ross Chastain shit right there. And definitely some Ross Chastain action out there on the Speedway, that is for certain, as we're going to get ready to pull our top three up here into the booth for some post-race interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, David Trailer Jr. Hey, David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, I got you.
David, man, what a run, what a race, man. This 54 ride seemed to be kind of in a time zone of your own here this evening, man. This thing was hooked up. The thing was fast all night long, and you were just on rails out there. And really, I think only one time during a missed shift on a restart, you gave up the race lead there for about 3 or 4 laps. You were able to get it back, and then obviously through some of the pit cycles, you lost the lead for a couple more laps, but virtually leading about, 93, 94 laps here tonight in a dominant performance out there on the racetrack for you.
Yeah, I don't know how many laps I led. I knew how hard it was to pass. You kind of had to use the nose, and in this body of the car I'm driving, it's basically just spinning them out. And I was like, I don't want to spin somebody out. So yeah, I was just trying to not crash, trying to kind of save tire, and just kind of throwing it into the corner. You kind of had to be a little reckless to be fast. I definitely made some mistakes. Like you said, I don't know what's wrong with the transmission in this car. Missed my shift, got stuck in neutral a couple times. Luckily, I was able to kind of get back to him. But yeah, no, this is a super fun race. These cars are so fun to drive. This is a fun little track to kind of beat and bang. I know there were some incidents tonight, but we were all having a really good time. Kind of going door to door there for a while.
Yeah, definitely some craziness out there. A lot of caution flags, but we kind of had that in mind. We kind of knew that was going to be a thing here this evening. As this is a very difficult racetrack. It is very, very slick out there. And even with these Camaros, the Firebirds, the Monte Carlos out there, what we normally see as a dirt street stock, it kind of rolls like a dirt street stock race here at South Boston Speedway. Just being slick. You almost got to turn, right to go left out there on the racetrack like we do on the dirt surface as well. Is that kind of the vibe that you guys got out of this race here this evening? Is a little bit kind of like a dirt track race?
Yeah, you definitely, I'm looking at my tire wear now. I definitely burned the right rear off more than the right front. So I was definitely turning right to go left for a while. But that suits my driving style. These cars aren't super fast, but they do have a lot of body roll. They lean a lot. So yeah, like you said, it's definitely kind of like a dirt race, and I've had my fair share of racing on dirt for a couple of years, so it definitely it worked out in my favor for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It worked out perfectly here for you as you're able to dominate this race, obviously winning the heat race, getting that pole position here for the feature, knowing that track position is going to be key, and you're able to use it to your advantage pretty much all night long, and using it to get some big restarts, open up a little bit of an advantage there, trying to give yourself some breathing room between, the car back behind you, as we saw a few fast cats right there trying to, maybe move you up out of the way or put the pressure to make you make a mistake there, as we saw Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden, Colton Hardy, Modesty there late in the race, Joe Yakes, everyone trying to find a way to get around you here, but for the most part, you're able to play it perfectly, keep that car pointing the right direction. Probably one of the few cars out there really not to have an issue out there on the Speedway going around or getting collected in a big wreck out there on the racetrack here tonight, which seemed to be a very big accomplishment on its own.
Yeah, like I said, there was definitely the fair share of drama with cars getting spun and these things. It's a fine line. You can definitely hit each other, but then all it takes is just the wrong way to get hit, and you're turned around. You're in the fence, and there's no safer barriers here, so you hit the fence and it'll tear up your car pretty quick. But yeah, kept the fenders clean. I think I hit the wall a couple times, but these things are built pretty tough, and just made it home.
Absolutely, brother. As you make it home and you park it right up and into the South Boston Speedway victory lane here this evening for our Full Throttle Outlaws All-Star race here, man. You are the All-Star here this year, man. How does that feel?
It's pretty cool. It's I know this is not really a points race. It's just kind of a fun thing. Hopefully, some guys tune into the broadcast and see that this race was a blast to drive. I don't. I'm definitely gonna go back and watch the broadcast, but it was so much fun to come out here and just relax. You know, we know that there's nothing really on the line other than $50 and a credit to the winning bid. And shout out to Blair. Without him, this race wouldn't be possible. So yeah, we really appreciate what he does for us.
Absolutely, brother. Well, David, heck of a run, heck of a drive, man. Who would you like to thank you tonight for such a great run and great performance and parking this 54 ride up and into victory lane?
Yeah, I want to thank obviously the admins for putting this on with me. We try to keep it light around here, and I think tonight was pretty light. No tempers, no nothing, just lots of laughs and banging. So super fun there. Thanks to like I said, Blair at the winning bid. This race is pretty much sponsored by him, put on by him. He's a great supporter of the league, so a really big thank you to him. Thank you to you for broadcasting. I know these races, like I said, they don't really mean a ton, but they're really fun to do. Just kind of take the stress off for a week. So big thank you to you for putting the broadcast on. And then thanks to my fiance for letting me do this, my dad watching at home, and shout out to my buddy Brendan.
Absolutely, brother. Well, David, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on, obviously, the prize money here tonight as well. The credits there to the winning bid as well. Listen, if he's doing any card breaks, man, you want to use some of those credits for, maybe some hockey cards or something for your boy, I would definitely love that. That would be a great donation to the broadcast.
Of course, Aaron.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy the rest of your night, David.
Thank you, too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 54 of David Traylor Jr. David, able to get the job done and park that 54 ride up and into victory lane as the J.C. Newman's Cigar Company ride into victory lane here this evening. Now we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. The number 6 ride is Rusty Modesty. Rusty comes home in position number 2. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Rusty, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Hey, Aaron. How are you, man?
Not too bad, Rusty, man. Exciting night, thrilling night, and a tight battle here to close things out for you as you're able to jump up and late in this one steal that second place away from Joe Yates. As a pretty wild afternoon, man. Take us back through what's going through your mind here and how you're able to, finish this one off and come home with a solid second place drive out there on the Speedway.
I mean, how I think if you, I don't know if it's missing on your screen, but I'm missing my front bumper on my screen. No, that was a real fun race there, and pretty physical, and just really happy with the way the cars raced and the way the people raced, and man, it was just a good amount of fun there. Felt like we were pretty fast compared to the field. I'm not sure if we had anything for David. Never really got a chance to be there for a lot of laps to really make a try at him, but boy, he was fast tonight. So ended up there at the end with a really good battle with Joe and honestly several others in the field. It seemed like there was a top group of 4 or 5 cars that really raced well around each other and tight, and it was man, yeah, just a good time overall. A lot of laps, but good fun.
Yeah, a lot of laps, a lot of cautions, as there's a lot of chaos out there. I'm sure that the voice chat was popping off of the Discord there. Obviously, everyone, a lot of these short tracks, even though there's no points on the line, frustrations can boil over pretty quickly, man. What was the vibe there, throughout the Discord or out there on the race server, just with, potentially upset drivers with how things were going out there on the racetrack?
I'm gonna say 90% all on good fun, 10% maybe a little upset. Um, no, for the most part, everyone came in prepared to race each other really hard tonight with these, and knew that there were going to be some consequences to pay for that. And I think when you know that kind of going in with that expectation, the group that we have, they've been racing around each other for long enough. It's they know that nothing's that serious, and everyone's here to have fun. And I don't think, again, I didn't see every incident, but for the ones that I did see, I know that there wasn't any ill will or anything like that. It was all people going hard or trying to go after the same real estate. So, and that happens when everyone's racing really hard. So everyone took it with a grain of salt, at least for the most part, and we'll all be better for it and be back to points racing next week.
Absolutely back into our regular activities, back into our, mile and a halves, back into the Xfinity cars, maybe feeling a little bit more comfortable in those. And honestly, they can take a bump a little bit better than what these things can, especially here at South Boston. It's a pretty slippery racetrack, and with the way that these Camaros compared to the Monte Carlos are built, they don't really line up bumper to bumper correctly. So you kind of get underneath of one another, and it kind of just jacks these cars up. Once these cars kind of get lifted up off their, back end a little bit, man, it just sets these cars wild. You get no rear traction, and it's very, very easy to loop around, and that's what we saw a lot here tonight. And honestly, created a little bit of chaos and a little bit of upset drivers, but hopefully not any, amnesty going into the rest of the season here. It's all in good fun here for the All-Star race.
Yeah, no doubt it is, and just happy to do it with this group and everyone that puts it on, and make it fun for us every week, at least every Friday.
Absolutely, man. Couldn't have said it any better myself. But Rusty, heck of a run, heck of a drive here tonight, man, as you park that 6 right up here in position number 2. Who'd you like to thank for another solid performance out there on the racetrack?
I mean, yeah, shout out to the admins that put the league on, that are keeping this thing rolling. Shout out to you, Peacemaker, for the great broadcast. All the friends and family like watching. Misfit Motorsports, great group of guys to race with. You see us on several leagues throughout the week, so always cutting up and having a good time, and not taking this too seriously. So
Beauty. Well, Rossi, great run, great race, man. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Friday night, and hopefully see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better and into victory lane.
yeah, thanks. Lastly, shout out Lindsay Fitzmaurice.
Beauty. Rossi, enjoy the rest of your night, brother.
See ya.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there to Mr. Rusty Modesty as Rusty comes home in position number 2 here this evening. Solid run, solid drive there for that 6 machine, as we'll get ready now to pull in our 3rd place driver, Joe Yakes. Hey, Joe, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Sure do. How you doing this evening?
Not too bad, Joe, man. A crazy race here this evening. A lot of crazy action in here late in this one. You get to duke it out door to door after that late race caution flag. Looked like you had second wrapped up, and then all of a sudden, after that late race yellow, you gotta duke it out here at Rusty Modesty. And unfortunately, there on the final lap, he's able to get you and steal that 2nd spot away, man. Take us back through this race and what's gonna go through your mind right now as the checkered flag has been thrown here at South Boston Speedway.
Well, let's just start with what's going through my mind, and that is the fun race we had this evening. That battle with Rusty was so much fun at the end there, but oh man, to back this thing all the way up from the beginning, it has been a hectic night. I mean, I'm sure you saw in the broadcast, I was pinballed all over the place in the heat race. I couldn't get this thing wrapped around. So I settled down for the feature. Was like, you know what? I'm going to go in and see if I can do this without stopping for tires, and just kind of took it easy, saved, and got up there, took the lead for a little bit there, and then the fresh tires just kind of got me, and then kind of put me in a box there to then get my tires, but that puts me back in the mess. So I wound up just taking 2 just because I was, kind of stuck waiting for the 5. And that actually worked out. The thing fired off pretty good. I got up there and felt like I had something to compete with David, but then having only just them 2 tires, it really just fell off at the tail end of that run. Those last 20 laps, I was just catching the thing. It was just super loose, just all over the place, just not very comfortable at all. But what a fun race. This was an absolute blast tonight. It was chaos. It was fun to partake in, and I hope it made for a good broadcast.
Definitely made for a fun broadcast. A lot of great action out there. A lot of great battles, man. It looked like you guys were having a ton of fun out there. Obviously, there was a few heated moments for some drivers that got a little crazy there towards the end. And obviously we saw some of these late race caution flags. We saw you there on lap 60 come down pit road, get those fresh tires, virtually 14 laps after everybody else did. Did you think maybe waiting a little bit longer? Maybe you thought about, coming down, with 25 or 20 laps left to go if there was a caution flag in that area to try to get even better tires for late in this race that you could have used even later here to potentially make that move around David Trailer and steal this win away from him.
I think in hindsight, after seeing how the two tires were working towards the tail end of their run, I think if I'd have waited another 15, 20 laps and got him, I would have been just in such a good spot. But I think it would have put me just way too much back in the chaos. The way things kind of worked out where I got the tires when I did, I was able to get some good restarts and kind of take advantage of the folks that were restarting on those slightly used tires and just really put those two tires to work and get around them. And I felt like I had a good shot at it, but they did just kind of fall off. So, if we didn't have, cautions and it was just straight up, they would take caution here and we'll go, I think the two tires would have worked for me if I'd have taken them about 20 laps later. But, hindsight's always 20/20.
Absolutely. All I can do is put it into the memory bank, keep that information for maybe the next time you're here running these cars at South Boston Speedway and you get that same situation where they've already used their tires up and you kind of get make that call of coming down maybe a little bit later and taking a little bit more of a gamble here and trying to use those fresher tires up later in the race. But man, it was a hell of a run, hell of a performance, and a great battle there late in the race to finish it off for you as you come home in position number 3 here this evening in our all-star race. Man, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive out there on the racetrack?
Well, first off, I want to thank Rusty. That was just such a fun battle. It's when you get out into the simulator and you have battles like that are clean, respectful, but just both drivers just throwing everything they got at it at the end of the race there. And we did make a little bit of contact, but it was kind of him coming up, me coming down, just racing really hard with each other. So a shout out to Rusty there for just having an awesome battle. And of course, my teammates with David Trailer with the win, Clint Woodby, Colt Hardy, and my dad, Michael Yakes, who kind of ran into some trouble early in the race, but had a good time with it. And of course, you for broadcasting this and all the sponsors that help put this thing on together. It's a lot of fun to come out here every single week and, to come out to an all-star race. A lot of leagues, they'll just do something different, but run the same car. But, we decided, hey, let's do a little short track throwdown for the all-star race. And I think that worked out pretty good. I thought it was a lot of fun. And, we'll see what we come up with for next season.
Absolutely, man. It's almost like a bit of a pendulum to the dream that we used to see in NASCAR when we would see all the NASCAR guys go to Eldora and jump into late models. The same thing, just keeping it still on the pavement side of things, but a lot of fun, a lot of great racing action, man. Joe, congrats on the third place run, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the Speedway next Friday.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Joe Yanks as Joe comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Solid run, solid drive there for that number 87 machine, man. That was a great performance, great drive there for him, and coming home in that third spot, man. Solid run. See if he can use that momentum to try to work himself back up here a few more times in the season when the points are on the line. But listen, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Unfortunately, the stream is coming to a close here. Unfortunately, the racing action coming to an end. Our all-star race is now over, but we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love throughout the evening, and we'll see you guys back in here tomorrow night for some more racing action as the Premium Stock Car Racing League will get ready to duke it out tomorrow night. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
The grips a gamble, tires squeal, hearts race. This leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfect.